I have to do introductions. If you're open to receiving this healing, just nod your head. Say internally, I accept. This healing is for the heart chakra. Good afternoon. Divine timing. Very powerful, I'll say, ego death experience for me. I definitely understand. Last night was probably one of the hardest little nights in my whole entire life, but I made it out. Made it back to the stillness. It was definitely one of the hardest nights that I ever experienced, ever. I don't know if you guys looked at my last stream last night. Um, so last night, I don't know, I thought it was a good idea for me to eat psilocybin last night. Last night, I took two different types of psilocybin mushrooms at the same time. One was called, well, I don't want to get into the name of it, but it was definitely extremely powerful. And reality started, everything started to speed up extremely fast for me. Um, I mean, like, so quickly. It was happening so quickly that whenever I had a negative thought, I was looking at my hand and I literally saw, I was watching all the color drain out of it and watching my whole hand turn gray. And it literally felt like I was about to become dust, like how in the Marvel movie. I was looking, and I was looking at how my as soon as I went to a negative thought, my body started to wither. Like I started to get wrinkles. It's like I was rapidly aging. In a split second, I was like rapidly aging, and then I immediately switched back and I watched the life come back into my hand again. Yes, I'm just thinking about like last night because I didn't even go to sleep because I couldn't tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference from dream world and waking world, and it felt like if I would have went to sleep, I would have lost my consciousness. So I stayed awake, but it was super tough because I was hearing thoughts and emotions of people in the collective. I was hearing people screaming and yelling, psychically yelling. I was hearing all the people who was going through the same exact thing that I was doing, like collectively. And then some of the people were quiet, and some of them were still fighting on. I was hearing the people who was fighting on. Yes, it was literally like how when Thanos say when he snaps his fingers, how everybody just became dust. And I was like, I literally felt myself like something in me knew that if I didn't focus on my breathing, that I would literally just disperse. like into nothing, back into spirit. Like it was hard, like truth. I was like, oh, that's what you're trying to tell me. And then I was hearing Nikola Tesla. He was telling me, he was like, I am Nikola Tesla, and he was like, no Tesla, just Nikola. He just said, just call me Nikola. And then he started going in a loop, and then I heard him drift off. And then I heard another being um, come in, and it was my granddad, since his name was Isaac. And then he was like, showing me all the times he was in history. He was like, Isaac. I was like, Isaac. And he showed Isaac Newton. Then he showed Isaac, different Isaacs. It's kind of hard to explain. Also, it was something very, very, was throwing me into a lower vibration because I didn't pay attention to set and settings. It's like both. So those mosquitoes somehow was in my tent. There was like, I was not taking care of my tent, and I didn't even realize it, that my tent started to get holes inside it. The screen net got ripped, and there was all these bugs just all pouring into my tent, like all pouring into my tent. And at first I never really noticed them, but then I realized like the energy behind them was like not the best. So I looked at the mosquito, right, and it got huge, like this big, and then it got small, and then it got huge again, like physically huge. Like it was like a magnifying glass. I was feeling my ego mind, um, expanding things and shrinking them, expanding them and shrinking them. And it was like I was literally creating spiders through my mind. Like, so a bug come, and then I kept seeing the visualization of it, and then out of nowhere, then I just see them. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm creating this. So then I went back, and I went back, and I was like, stillness. And they literally started disappearing. Or I had a whole bunch of candles lit in my tent, and soon I did that, it was like all the mosquitoes, it was like they immediately knew that I switched my consciousness, and they all just start flying into the fire at the same time. Like they immediately like jumped off me and started flying into the candles as fast as they can. And then all the bugs that was in my tent started to run out of my tent. Like they all start running. I even seen a slug, and it was moving extremely fast. There was all just flowing out of my tent, like there was running out. Yes, it's almost like the bugs. It's like they collect the low vibration energy, and then they transmute and they go back into spirit. But I'm still like amazed of like how I literally kept myself from withering. Like I literally I looked at my feet, and there was like my toes and stuff was like swiveling up, like it was dying, and I immediately flowed the chi like this through my feet, and then I seen the life force come back in my foot, and then my foot like click and realign and look back normal again, because it was looking deformed, and then it just like that, and it went back like instantaneously, like it was crooked, and then welcome. Thank you for listening. It's definitely very wild. It was extraordinary experience. It was like I was amazed, but then my ego mind was like in fear, but then also I was like, but also it's like a good type, like understanding. I started listening to Archangel Michael, It was I was I was going in a loop. I knew that I kind of messed up. I messed up casting the spell, so I know he got pretty upset. But I can always try again. I was so close to breaking out of the 3D reality. Like he was trying to get me to enter the dream, like wake up in the dream, so I can like, cause it literally felt it. I felt so light. It felt like I can step off the ground and just lift off. That's how light I felt. I literally felt like at any second I can take one step and I'll just be in the sky, just flying, like literally. But then I doubted, and then I felt my density drop, and I felt heavy again. But I was so close. It felt like if I wouldn't doubt it myself, that was split second, I probably would have took off. Thank you. Thank you for the one like I have right now. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You are cleansed, I believe, fully in all chakras and your third eye and soul, physical, mental. Yeah. And I was listening to the chakra course from Ernest Vader. And as I was listening to it, as I was like visualizing the chakras getting created with the energy, um, I noticed if I accidentally lower my vibration, then his voice starts to get strained. But if I raise my vibration, then he goes back into his voice changed into gratitude. It was like every time I changed my perception, the voice of the video change. So if I was in a if I was in a fear mindset, his voice would be shaking. But if I was in a mindset of gratitude, then the video, his voice changes into calm and peaceful. Just like with meditation music, um, I realized certain meditation music was like horrible. It was like absolutely horrible. Because a lot of the meditation music that's out there is actually extremely low vibrational. It goes into like it goes like that, and then I literally felt my vibration drop. Like it dropped so hard. I was like, oh shoot, there's something wrong with this meditation music. It's like it's distorted. So I had to go into pure binary beats. I just got the app and just open up the binary beats. Yes, I was like, I realized I was creating it. I was making it low vibrational until I kept switching my perspective. Like I even accidentally like I realized how powerful my thoughts. I was looking at a bug way too hard. I was looking at the bug way too hard, and I was in a low vibrational thought, and it literally swiveled up and turned gray, and just died. And then I looked at it again, and then it was back to life again. I was like, oh shoot, I need to watch my thoughts because my thoughts literally took all the life force out of this bug. So let me switch back to a different parallel reality where it hasn't died. That's something I use at work. I know my vibrations low when I interpret people's voices as condescending or imitating. Like I'm just looking at like my mind is going like that right now as I'm reading it. It's like these truths is just coming out. I like those too, and the hurts healing. Synchronize, and I visualize the loops going around in my head. And then I listened to the cry. I was listening to Cryon towards the end of the night, and I could not perceive what time was. It was so hard because I couldn't tell how fast I was going because time literally like it melted. It literally melted. So it felt like eternity and also a split second throughout the night since the last time I streamed. I know. Who's that? Also, when I was trying to spell like unconditional love, I was feeling this force that was so strong that was trying to make me unable to spell. So I asked my spirit guides, I asked for assistance. And I was like, how they're giving me assistance? And then I looked at the bar where it says um, suggested words, and he's like, there's your assistance. And I was like, oh, is your tint good now? I need to do some repairs to it. I need to clean it all out. I'm buying some tape so I can tape it up until like my next paycheck, and then I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna just buy a whole brand new tent because it got damaged in the wintertime. Because at the time there was a whole bunch of smaller animals. I was trying to stay warm, tiny little gerbils, and they chewed holes in the bottom of my tent, and that allowed some bugs to flow in. I try to patch them, but they still find a way to get in. But I'm pretty sure I bought insurance on my tent that I had on Amazon, so I could probably just get a new one. I know this is not much of a Reiki session, but sometimes I just really want to talk about these things that we're experiencing because I know out there's people just like me who understand what I'm talking about. They're at that level where they can understand. And talking about it, it helps heal the heart. Yes, it's very it's very interesting because most people they don't want to explore this aspect. I'm so grateful to feel like the sunlight, the air, trees and stuff. Because at nighttime is a whole nother story in the woods compared to the daytime. Whole nother story. But when the sun comes out, all the dark energy is like pushed away. And I was also realizing how my mind was controlling the weather. Like, it got really hot over here, but then once I start focusing my mind on the clouds, like the elementals of the clouds, I start thinking about the wind flowing through me, and then all of a sudden I start to hear the thunder and wind flow through me. And when I heard something clear up in my mind, then the thunder hit, like that thunder hit out external and also internal. Where? That looked like okay. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I definitely feel like really, really calm right now. Like this level of comfort I'm feeling right now is much needed. That is a very big butterfly. It's yellow and black. It's like this big. It's really big. Well, it depends on my consciousness. I'm realizing on my consciousness what type of bugs you see. If your consciousness is in the higher vibration, you will only see bugs that are synchronized and harmonious. But immediately, if you start lowering your consciousness, you start to see lower vibrational bugs like mosquitoes and ticks and spiders and stuff like that. You start to see them. But as soon as you start bringing your awareness, it switch. The bugs you start seeing is different. And it's almost like when we change our consciousness to a higher vibration, those type of bugs literally go extinct. Like the mosquitoes and stuff, they literally just start ending themselves, or they literally just stop. They won't try to attack you. I'm gonna definitely have to look back, and watch the video. I've been asking elemental spirits, ancestral spirits. They came by last night, and we started to do. Even though I was sitting up by myself in the woods, I was sitting like this, and I was drumming, but I was hearing other people drumming and doing the shamanic, and I was hearing shamanic dancing and drums, and I just started moving like this with it. It was like they was making an energy wave. I'm glad that I got this back because last night, if you look on my stream, my hand was going like crazy, but now it regained it. I got it back. Yeah. Yes, and I see them as very like messengers. So like flies, they transmute dead energy to transmute it, and then the spiders transmutes the fly energy. So I wouldn't call them negative. It's just your perspective of them. So like something died, and then the fly goes and transmute that back into dirt, back into dirt, and then the fly, once it's near its end of the cycle, so, the spider um, collects those low the energy. So it collects all they're like cleaners, and then the spider transmute that fly back into light, basically back into spirit. I'm also like realizing that like the intuitiveness of the divine feminine is like I'm starting to understand how the collective of like most women how they see reality, because they're like more advanced when it comes to like this perspective, because when I was in my divine masculine closed off, none of this made sense until I start to move more into divine feminine. So it's almost like you start off going through the cycles of being male, and then when you elevate or go into a higher spirituality, then you start reincarnating as female. But they're both balanced. But I can see, I can see it. I'm trying to put it into words, was I can see it. Let's see. We have a lot of lions on the farm, but they do not bother people or my chickens. I love seeing bees outside on flowers. I have been seeing a lot more bees lately, and a lot more bumblebees. There's balance with divine feminine and divine masculine, like you're saying. We all have both types of energy inside of us. You can see on their aura. I want to practice seeing the auras of flowers. I know I can feel them, but I'm slowly getting to the state where I can start to see it. Last night, I had this real gold, and then I had a piece of pyrite, and I looked at it, and the fool's gold, it wasn't like it literally lost all its color, like it almost became white, and it wasn't real. So I threw it out of my tent, and I grabbed this one, and then what else? I bought Palo Santo, and I looked at the Palo Santo, and I started burning it, but it was giving me a negative effect. And it was like, okay, well, no more burning Palo Santo because it's dead, and I'm making carbon monoxide, which is poisonous to me. So I stopped smudging because I wasn't smudging. I'm not removing negative energy. I'm just creating a space where it's harder to breathe. So I stopped using the sage, and I stopped using the Palo Santo, and I looked at the Palo Santo stick, and it lost all its color. Oh, thank you. Solid white. You see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I believe, it's probably just my perception of the pyrite. I didn't throw it out, but I put it outside of my tent so it can charge in the moonlight. Because I'm still working with my perceptions. Because I was saying my perception kept changing with the different what was happening. Because I still love the pyrite. It's a beautiful crystal. So I'm releasing that negative belief system right now. Thank you for helping me release that. Last night the moon was very beautiful. There was fog, but the moonlight was still shining through the fog, so I seen the rainbow around the moon. The moon definitely brings out so much of our like personality. Really bringing out this part of me that I forgot that I had. Next I know, note to self, myself, do not take way too many psilocybin. And I only took like two small mushrooms, and it did all that. I'm so glad I didn't eat a whole bunch. Ate two small ones, and I just got spiraled. If I ever do it again, I'll probably want. I wanted to go to like a place where they have shamans and stuff to help guide me. Not in the night in the woods. Yeah, but it was liberating though. But that's exactly what happened. And we talked through the night. And at the end of the day, I came out lighter and better than I ever been. Because when I went to the dispensary, the guy who was like, "Oh, we have this other really special one. It's called Ghost." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't understand. I didn't really understand like the meanings of the shrooms. The names of the shrooms describes the type of ego death that you're going to have. So I ate Ghost and the shroom called Penis Envy, which is basically the ego death for the sacral and root chakra. And then Ghost was the ego death for the third eye. And he told me that you'll see shadow people if you eat this one. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't really mind. But no. I never see any shadow people, but I definitely seen like my inner being and my inner fears amplified and shrink. Very quick way to clear blockages. If I ever do it again, it's most definitely gonna be in the daytime. I don't know what is with me always taking extreme psychedelics at night. The mosquitoes trying to bite me. It's almost like I can hear them. It's like I want to bite you. Like, no, get away! Don't bite me. Very long-lasting effect. It lasts about 6 or 7 months. Not as intense, but 6 or 7 months. Need to learn from my mistakes of last year. Last year, I did mushrooms a week after my birthday, and this one I'm doing, I believe, 2 weeks before my birthday or a week before my birthday. But last year, I fell unconscious. I lost conscious awareness, so I had to repeat a cycle that lasted about 7 months. So the cycle came back, and I didn't fall in consciousness this time. I sustained it throughout the day. I knew that something told me not to fall asleep throughout the night. Stay up, sing, dance, just do anything to stay balanced throughout the night. Because I knew don't go to sleep. Don't. Well, it's like if I did go to sleep, it had to be restful. But don't go to sleep in fear. That's what I mean. If you go to sleep smiling, that was the focus. I don't don't try to go to sleep while in that fear mentality. It's definitely time for me to get a new phone because this current phone takes me a very long time to charge it because I accidentally broke the charging port, kinda. So it takes like 4.5 hours to charge it fully. But I need to start taking care of my belongings. I'm feeling a very good healing coming in now. Whoa. Just watching the mosquitoes. And also these bugs right here, I don't know what they're called. They look like spiders, but they're not. They're like really small body with really, really long legs. All over the place. It's like right now, I look at them, they're not even scary, or they're not even like they're not like that. But last night, it was getting like all big. But now I look at them like, oh, just another bug doing something. What is today? Sunday. Sunday. Forgot what today was. Oh shoot! I was like, what is today again? I heard the frogs creak, and I swear I was hearing them say, when I said I asked for the violet flame, I started hearing them say, thank you, like that, thank you. And then I was hearing like the birds having a whole full-on battle against something like it was eating the mosquitoes or something like that. It was eating like the bugs. It was having a whole-on battle. Something coming up real quick. When I was walking home, I seen a person who had well, it was a new Tesla truck, right? But in my mind, I judged that person. So as I was walking later on, when I was listening to Archangel Michael's video, he stated, "You seen the truck, or you seen the vehicle, and you judged that person." And I was like, "I did." And then he said, you seen the people who was homeless on the streets?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." He was describing all the events and things that I seen throughout my day, all the people I interact with. He was telling me all all what I did. And I was looking at my book called From Talos from Limeria. I was reading that book and the I opened the book and I was feeling the energy radiating out of the book from the words start to like move like really fast and to like radiate. It was like the light was flowing into my eyes, into my consciousness as I read the words. But I was having a little hard time, little difficulty keeping track, but was definitely, just looking at it, it's amazing. I'm definitely going to rewind back to later on in the video. After I watch the stream, I'm going to go back. I think it was around 20 minutes or 21 minutes or 19 minutes in when the fairy was there. So I'm going to go. It's like the frogs like indicators when I'm really getting them out. Removing the blocks. Whenever I move like a block, I hear the frog like, eh. It's almost like they're coughing. It's like I'm healing them. Once the frogs get fully healed, they start to creak and make the correct sound. Right now they're coughing. They're like right now getting their energy transmuted. They're being transmuted right now, so you can hear them coughing up energy. And usually when they get back into balance, they start to creak. Same thing with the birds. You can hear the vibration of our birds. Sometimes they sound stressed, and then sometimes when I start doing this healing, you start to hear them in the background. Because I'm not just healing human consciousness, I'm healing animals, plants, Mother Gaia consciousness at the same time. So all animals that are connected to me are being healed with me at the same time. And all humans who are with me right now are being transmuted and healed at the same time. Imagine if we had two suns on both sides of the planet. One sun on one side of the planet and another sun on the other side of the planet, where it never be dark again. If Jupiter became a sun, and we regain our second sun. Because we're one of the rare planets in the universe, because we only have one sun. Most planets that has sustained life, they have two suns, but we only have one sun. Forty-eight minutes. I see you, spirit. 1:33 in the clock. I see you, spirit. I'm now going to start closing down the session. So later on I can charge up my phone. So I can continue to have a much longer session. You charge it up. And surround you in light with your permission. And the violet flame, the violet ray surrounds your whole entire being. Surrounding, clearing, the Merkaba, spinning, clearing, transmuting, as for Archangel Michael's sword of light, to clear our perceptions and our belief systems. Namaste. I love all of you guys unconditionally.